Saturday was the Anthony Joshua versus Andy Ruiz fight. Before that, the weigh-ins was on Friday as well, Friday morning, and we saw that Joshua weighed in pretty light. I expected him to weigh in light. But Ruiz came in, 15 pounds heavier? Around 283, 281, whatever that was. It was heavier. A lot of people said, he's lazy. He put on all that weight. I was thinking, I tried to give him the benefit of the doubt, him being a champion, him being a hungry champion. I just gave him the benefit of the doubt. Maybe he's putting on those extra pounds to maybe pack a little more power in his punches. And then after the fight, I found out that he actually ballooned up to like 290. His father or his main training coach said, that's close to 300. It's a 300-pound fighter. That's way too heavy. Let's go to the fight. Joshua came in with the mindset of, I'm an egoless fighter. I'm not fighting with an ego. A fighter that would come in with a huge ego would be a guy that says, an eye for an eye. You knocked me out, made me look silly on that night. I'm knocking you out cold. But Joshua came out with no ego. He said a win is a win. This time I would be a strategic fighter, fight for the win, box. This is funny because all of the boxing pundits, I don't really listen to boxing pundits. I listen to the fighters that talk. That can be a little tough because their words can be jaded and clouded. But yeah, I listened to a lot of the fighters and they said, there's no way you can change up. There's no way you can change up from go to an inside fighter to a guy that can move around and box like Ali. I listen to them. I don't know why. I got to stop listening to people because a lot of times you listen to people, they like to set their limitations on you. We can't fall victim to that. Setting your limitations on someone else. That's one of my biggest pet peeves in life. But he proved everyone wrong. His game plan was to jab, 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 move off the back foot, move around, footwork, and then occasionally let off the right hand. That first clean, flush right hand he landed, I forget what round, early in the fight, first few rounds, early in the fight, it cut Andy Ruiz. Not a bad cut, but it cut Andy Ruiz. And sometimes I feel like he had Andy Ruiz in a little tiny bit of trouble where you see there's a little buckle. If you look very closely, there's a little buckle in Andy Ruiz. And if he came with the follow-up shots, he could have taken him out, maybe. Or that could have been a dangerous situation because in the first fight, he knocked down Andy Ruiz in the third round by fighting inside. Ruiz is an inside fighter. Shorter reach, shorter fighter. He likes to fight inside. That's where he does most of his dirty boxing, and that's where most of his work comes out. So Joshua, like I said, he used his brain in this fight to a T. Even if he saw him buckle a little bit, he never fought that inside game because he fell in love with the inside game in the first fight. He thought, okay, I knocked him down fighting inside in the pocket. I'm going to fight in the pocket and try to take him out again. And that's where we saw the hand speed of a Andy Ruiz, where he landed like 5 to 7 punch combos. Joshua took that element of the game out. So I'm thinking, okay, that's good. Let's see if Andy Ruiz is a strategist. Andy Ruiz just follows him like a zombie. No ring cutting off. Just followed him like a string on a rope. Followed him. And could never reach Joshua. There was a few moments where Joshua got mentally fatigued and he didn't move and he got caught in the pocket. And you can see Joshua stagger a little bit. For some reason, Joshua panics when he gets hit. So you can see that panic in him, but he quickly retrieved. I feel like if Joshua fought in the pocket a little bit longer, Ruiz could have won. So I thought in my mind, okay. Ruiz, Lost the fight, but he lost the fight to a better man. I could live with that. I was rooting for Joshua anyway, but I could live with that. This is a guy that dreams big, and seeing other people establish their dreams, I can live with him just losing to a better man and a better boxer. I could live with that. But after the fight, the excuse making began. He said, "Oh, I didn't take this fight seriously. 1, I came in overweight. 2, I partied too much. 3, huh? Hold on. You're fighting the cash cow of heavyweights, of boxing overall. You made what, $83 million? You just made $11 to $13 million, and you said you didn't take that fight seriously. You said you were busy partying. Your dad and trainer was begging you to come into camp earlier. I forget what month, but I think it was August. They were begging you to come into camp early to get your weight or to manage your weight properly. But you wanted to train yourself. Do what brought you to the dance." He said his media obligations got to him. He wasn't able to set up proper training around the media obligations he had in the various interviews he would do with Jimmy Kimmel. He did the full roundtable circuit. That gave me insight into what it took to be a champion. 1, the same media obligations Andy Ruiz had, Joshua has been having for the past 5 years. He's never made that as an excuse. He knew that came with the territory as being the heavyweight champ of the world. He knew how to work around that. I know what was new for Ruiz, but Ruiz, if he was a true champ, would have learned from the failures of his contemporaries, his past contemporaries, dating back all the way to the biggest upset in the history of the world, or boxing world, Buster Douglas and Tyson, where Buster Douglas beat Tyson 10th, 11th round, I forget which one, and came in overweight when he had to fight Evander Holyfield. Came in overweight. That same story mirrored Andy Ruiz's plight. So you fight the first fight to change your life. You know it's a life-altering fight. And you said, "I'm going to seize the moment." And that very year, you don't take it serious. You party too much. You buy too many cars. And I understand, that's new money. Enjoy yourself. But you say you didn't take it serious. So what are you doing it for? The glory, or are you doing it for the internal value of being the best boxer in the world? Joshua did it to be the best boxer in the world. Obviously, there's a lot of debates between who's the best boxer right now. A lot of people say Wilder because he has that dynamite of a right hand. I think I agree with that as well, but that's besides the point. Joshua is doing it for the intrinsic value of being the best boxer in the world. He has the money. And you're not motivated to fight him. You thought it would be easy because you knocked him out in the first fight, even though he knocked you down in the 3rd round. You thought it would be easy. You thought you would come in overweight. And then he mentioned that his arms were heavy because he packed on extra weight. What did you expect? Weren't you training at that heavy weight? You can't make that as an excuse. And then you said you couldn't cut him off because your legs, you just didn't have the energy. Come on, get out of here. If you think about it from a psychological perspective, this is me doing a deep dive. Could be wrong, could be right. I think I'll be right. But a lot of this occurs when people self-sabotage, especially when they feel like they don't deserve what they have been receiving. Maybe somewhere subconsciously he believed, I'm truly not the best heavyweight. I truly don't deserve this win. So in a lot of cases, I'm going to self-sabotage. Maybe because he couldn't deal with the pressure of being the hunted instead of being the hunter. I think we had a conversation on the earlier podcast about the ego, where we would leave a little in the tank just so we have a built-in excuse. That built-in excuse to signify that, maybe we are good enough. It's because we didn't prepare fully. And if we did prepare fully, it would mean that maybe we weren't good enough. After all, maybe it was a fluke. After all, I think there is some mechanism at play with that. He knew all he had to do was do his 3-4 month camp, do it to the fullest, and he would be king of the world. He would have the titles, one, and he, probably not, but he would in some kind of way have some leverage in the amount of money he can make, leverage in where the fight occurs. Because the rematch was all built-in clause in the contract they signed for the first fight. But there's no more contracts. After winning the fight, he could have had all of the leverage. Him, his management team, Al Heyman, could have had all the leverage and kept the belts on Al Heyman's side, where they could have just fought Al Heyman fighters like Deontay Wilder, where they could have isolated the belts in their favor, and they would have left Anthony Joshua out to dry. And they could have made all of the money in the world, but he self-sabotaged. He didn't want it. He didn't have the heart of a champion. The heart of a champion is not only in the fight. It's the months that precede the fight. It's the hours you spend training. He didn't have the heart of a champion. Didn't have respect for the game. If he respected the game, he would not come in overweight at 283 and balloon up to 290. That's a lack of respect for the game. I can't root for a guy that has no respect for his craft, that just spits in the face of his supporters. It's disgusting. Right after the fight, he asked for a rematch or trilogy. I'm not buying it. You got to earn that trilogy. To be that disappointing and to come up with those excuses in the biggest fight of your life and to just feel like you deserve a rematch, I'm not rolling. I'm not rolling. You got to earn that spot. Prove that you're a professional. Prove that you deserve this title shot again. And Anthony Joshua, please let this fight happen. Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder. I don't really want to see Joshua and Fury. That'll just be a boxing fest. Maybe a cool fight, but primarily I want to see Wilder versus Joshua. I think it would end badly for Joshua because Joshua panics when he gets hit. We talked about the Joshua fight and Andy Ruiz being fat and out of shape for the fight and making excuses. Honestly, thank God he lost. That put the universe back in order. That put fitness back in check as well. When he won, fat people and out of shape people had their moment of glory. A fat person like Andy Ruiz, with all due disrespect, was able to beat a guy like Anthony Joshua, who looks like a bodybuilder. It made us fit guys look pretty bad. But the universe has been put back in order. Fat people, get back in shape, all right? Don't think that the heavyweight champion, for 4 months, is the way to be. With all due disrespect.